This is what I'm working on right now. It's the shadow box, a commission piece. It's pretty much finished. Got to put the glass in. When it comes to creating, that is so innate with me. I can't imagine waking up on a day and not wanting to create.
Creating is something that's been a part of Zeke Taylor's life as long as he can remember.
I was 5 years old at the time, and I won the Best in Show. I won the art contest, and I realized right then that there are rewards to being an artist, and that's what I wanted to be from that day on.
In those early days, Zeke wasn't as focused on picking a career as he was picking cotton. See, Zeke grew up in the Delta when cotton was king, long before Bentonville became the center of Arkansas's art.
We like to say, go to Crystal Bridges to see art, and come to Eureka Springs to see where art is made.
For the last 35 years, Zeke has made Eureka Springs home. In fact, over a decade ago, Zeke spoke at a TEDx talk at Crystal Bridges.
The theme of the talks that day was becoming, and my talk that day was on Northwest Arkansas becoming an art mecca.
And art mecca it became. Crystal Bridges is now one of the top art museums in America, with works from across the world and works from our own backyard. Zeke's work is carried by Crystal Bridges gift shop. His passion for art is matched by his heart for animals, in particular, his cat Dutch.
I've had him since he was a kid. He showed up in the yard. I found him a home, and the person that was going to adopt him, his last name was Holland. That's why I named him Dutch. But then he came down with a neurological disorder, and this person no longer wanted him. And so I didn't bother me that he's a special needs kitty. So he's a sweetheart. He doesn't seem to mind that he's handicapped. He wobbles when he walks. He can't get up on anything, which maybe that's a good thing. Especially if you have food on the counter.
But it's the chimps that might catch your eye when you walk into his personal art gallery. When a pillow company requested a clothed chimp, it turned into a nationwide marketing campaign, and his art displayed in Neiman Marcus, Dillard's, and furniture stores across the country.
And it was so well received and so much fun to do that I kept doing the chimps.
So is this where you paint here?
This is where
This is your paint?
Yeah.
They're painted with a transparent watercolor dry brush technique with limited water for greater color, although sometimes Zeke admits it leads to an unusual diet.
That's what I do all the
Oh,
time.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes lines.
Mm-hmm.
I digest a lot of paint. I'll be painted, I don't think about it.
Just go.
And I want to keep the point.
Perhaps his most prestigious and proudest moment was receiving the Governor's Artist Award for Lifetime Achievement.
It was like I'd worked my entire life, and to have that recognition, I don't think anything could ever top that for me. Lots of paintbrushes. I can't resist buying paintbrushes.
His network expanded and profile grew. It eventually led to a connection with First National Bank of Northwest Arkansas president Rob Husong. He wanted to meet with Zeke about curating a bank that doubled as an art museum in downtown Bentonville.
So I met with him, and I thought, I don't know, I've not done any kind of work like this before. He convinced me that I could do it, and so I convinced myself I could.
Zeke curates the Gallery on 4th within F&B's Bentonville branch and features local artwork with new art exhibitions each quarter. All of the art is for sale by local artists. And if all this sounds like it would make a great story, it's because it does. And a large publisher thought so too. An anthology of his books, Out of the Delta, is set to be released later this year. The book grew out of a National Public Radio interview. He was asked to tell a true story.
When I got to the tape and they said, this will be heard by 130 million people worldwide, I was like, okay, this is crazy. But I got through that, and then I started writing Throwback Thursdays stories, all true tales.
Mm-hmm.
And I built up a following for those, and people kept saying, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And then as time went by, I thought, I think I've written enough stories that I have written a book.
What do you hope 100 years from now, when people look back at your art, that they see?
I hope people see my sense of humor, the sense of humor of the artist when he created with the chimpanzee paintings more than any other my other work. Also, hope that it brings some joy. I try to create beauty and make people happy, and I hope it continues to make them happy.
The art Zeek has curated for this quarter is already on display, with the artist reception coming up on November 3rd from 5 to 6:30. It's free and open to the public, and this exhibition will be on display through January. For FNB, I'm Garrett Lewis.